The first card you have your past is the Five of Cups. So I'm seeing a lot of worrying in this card. I'm seeing a lot of waiting as well. I think there was someone who you were waiting to hear from, and I think you're waiting for a long time. I think, you know, you were waiting. It was a long time. You might have given up a few times even. You know, but I think deep down you didn't want to. You knew that you couldn't do that. You did have some hope. I don't think this is about a love connection, actually. I think this might be about family. There were a lot of emotional problems around this person, and there were a lot of family problems as well. And I think they just tried to escape all of this for some reason. So they might have just left everyone, and they might have just gone their own way. You know, I think they did escape physically, but they didn't escape emotionally. They still carried a lot of hurt with them, and I think they still are hurting a bit. And I think you are very close to this person. You still feel very close to them. And I think you're probably closer to them than a lot of other people in the family. But I think what happened in their mind when they just left, I think they just grouped everyone in together, you know, as a big mass. Because I think it might have seemed a lot easier for them to do that if they did that emotionally, rather than separating everyone out. I hope that makes sense. And I think also they might have felt as if, you know, if they spoke to one person, then they'd have to speak to everyone, or, you know, that person might talk to the others, and then it'll open this up again, and then that'd be all painful for them all over again. So I'm getting a lot of very, very messy hurt, you know, a lot of heaviness around this. And I think they were probably on the verge of contacting either you or some other people in the family. And I think they've been backward and forwards a few times with this. It's like, oh, should I? No, I won't. So that's what I'm getting as well. So, you know, I think they will make contact eventually, because, you know, I'm just looking at the bridge on this card. I know this is really specific, but if this is resonating with you and you're missing someone, they're safe, they're physically safe, they're emotionally fragile, but they're physically safe, and they will contact someone. And I think I'm seeing they'll probably contact someone, they'll make some kind of contact, probably in the first half of this year. And we're almost in the middle of the year now, so you probably don't have long to wait to hear from them. I'm picking up really specific things here, I know that. So yeah, that's just how it is. So the next card you have your past is the King of Cups. Yeah, this was really hard for you. If this is all resonating, I think you're probably still going through all of this right now. You know, you really, really miss this person. You had to sort of keep this to yourself. And I'm seeing you having to keep your feelings to yourself as well. And I think you're really good at doing that, actually. You know, you don't like to wear your heart on your sleeve very often, unless you're with people who you're very, very close to. And it takes a lot for people to be close to you. So, you know, I think, especially in the workplace, I think you carried on doing everything you needed to do, but you did feel very lonely. There's this loneliness around you, because the King of Cups is on an island. He's by himself in the middle of all this water, all these emotions. So this was a very lonely time for you. And I think, you know, it wasn't just your feelings you were keeping to yourself. I just think you didn't want to say much about this. You weren't telling a lot of people about what was happening. You just didn't feel comfortable about that. That's what I'm seeing, about telling people about all of this. So, and you know, that's fine. Of course, you didn't have to tell anyone anything. It's up to you. But this was a very isolating time for you. I'm also getting this feeling that maybe you knew something about them that maybe other people didn't know. There's a feeling of protection. It's like you wanted to protect them, or you wanted to protect a secret, something about them. It was something like that. So again, you were just keeping a lot to yourself, and this was putting a lot of strain on you, I think. So if this is all resonating, once again, I can see why you'd want to do this for you, because I think it felt a little bit like you wanted to protect them, and you wanted to protect something for them. And also, I think you didn't want to talk about them because when they weren't around, because they weren't around to defend themselves. So there's that as well. So there's a lot of protection here. And so that's what I'm seeing here, a lot of keeping this to yourself, but still a lot of heart. That's what I'm getting. This is very, very heavy. This is very dark, very heavy reading. Yeah, so the last card you have for your past is the Ten of Wands. So yeah, again, I keep on seeing you keeping things to yourself, and this feeling of wanting to protect someone, but also wanting to talk to this person, but you couldn't talk to them. They were far away from you. They weren't communicating. So there's that kind of thing. So, I'm really sorry you were going through all of this if this was resonating, because it really isn't good. It's really, there's so much going on. I'm seeing this very, very strongly, very clearly, this very specific thing. So whatever this secret was, whatever you're keeping to yourself, I think was a very hard secret or thing to carry around with you, to keep with you. I'm getting this mixture of, sadness, missing this person, annoyance as well. It was like annoyance that they left you to carry this around with you. Also, there's bewilderment here. It's like, why aren't they contacting? I'm getting that as well. And I'm also getting this feeling that you still had hope. You had hope that you'd be able to make contact again, or that they'd contact you again. Because this man's walking toward his home. He's walking toward a beautiful home. He can't see it though. He can't see where he's going because these wands are in front of his face. So this is a bit like blind faith. You can't see where you're going, but you believe that it's going to work out. You believe that it's going to be okay. You're going to get there. So I think this is what you had in the back of your mind, this faith. And that's probably what kept you going a lot of the time. And if what I'm seeing here is correct, you will get this contact. So you're right to have this faith. That's what I'm seeing there. So the first card you have, your present, is the Page of Cups. So yeah, this is about a message. Now, this is not from this person in the Five of Cups, but you will eventually come back to contact with them. You'll come back into contact, and they're safe. And I just keep on feeling as if someone needs to know that. So if I feel the need to say that, doesn't matter where it is, I'm going to keep on saying it. Even if it sounds crazy, I don't care. So yeah, anyway, this is a message from someone else, and I think this might actually be some kind of apology. Now, I'm seeing an apology, but it's not a straightforward apology. This page is a bit light-hearted, and he's a bit silly sometimes, he's a bit jokey. So this is like an apology that's sort of wrapped up in a bit of light-hearted chat or something like that. So it's not a real apology. So this is someone who, at one time you probably would have jumped up at any contact they give you. You probably would have said, oh yes, I'll talk to you, whatever you want, here I am. Because I think at one time you were very, very much in love with this person. But you lost contact with them, and I think this probably had something to do with them not taking things seriously, not taking your relationship very seriously. And then I think as time went on, you had really serious things to think about. You've got this person in the Five of Cups to think about and everything else. And I think your life really changed after you separated. And so they kind of faded out of your mind a bit, faded away. And so now, when you get this apology, if you haven't already, I'm not seeing you being very excited about this at all. For one, it's sort of bound up in jokes or trivial things or whatever, and you have important things on your mind. You don't want to have this rubbish on your mind. You're definitely not jumping to attention when you see this, and you're definitely not you're definitely not saying, oh, I'm excited, I've got this I've got this apology. No, you're not going to feel like that. That's what I'm seeing. So the next card you have here present is the Ten of Pentacles. I'm seeing a few things here. I'm seeing order, I'm seeing planning, and I think this is probably about you making order in your life and trying to improve things in practical ways. Because, you know, if this is all correct, what I'm seeing here, your life's probably feeling a bit out of order, especially emotionally. And I think you really want to try to have a bit of, you know, a bit more control over everything. So this is about you sort of planning things, planning practical things like, you know, you might be saving money, maybe you're getting your career in order, you might be getting fit, you know, all kinds of ways that you can take control back of your life, you know, as much as you can anyway. And, you know, if this is resonating, I'm really glad to see this. I'm really glad that you're doing this. And your money's going to improve as well. It's definitely going to improve. I'm seeing a step up in your money, going up a level in your money for some reason. It might be a promotion. I don't know. It's some step up in money. The other thing I'm seeing here is, you know, I'm seeing family again, and I'm seeing people in your family, and I'm actually seeing people either not speaking to each other or not communicating. Because if you look at this card, you'll see, you know, there's a family here. Obviously, there's an old man, there's a child, 2 dogs, 2 people in the middle of this card, but no one's communicating, no one's talking. I mean, the people in the middle look like they might be saying something, but, you know, they're about to walk in opposite directions. They're not really properly communicating. So again, there's some kind of family division, and maybe this is part of the reason why this person went away, because I'm getting this feeling of not being heard, not being recognized, not being communicating or communicated with properly. And yeah, there were more serious reasons why they left. It wasn't just that. But I think even after they left, there was still a lot of divided people in this family. And I think things might be able to improve once they do make contact again. But it's not going to be easy. There's a lot of division here, and this is really heavy. There's a lot of heaviness around this as well. This is a very, very heavy reading. I'm really feeling this. So the last card you have here present is the 8 of Swords. So I think you would like your family to come closer together, but again, it's not easy. It's not easy for you either, because you have this thing that you know, this secret or whatever this is. And it's not like you're deliberately holding on to some big, terrible secret. It's not like that. It's that it's someone else's information. It's not your information to tell. And also you don't want a lot of talk or gossip about this. And you have loyalty to this person as well. So, you know, it's a bit like you'd like to get closer to some people in your family, and I think some other people in your family would like to as well, but there's a lot holding everyone back, I think, and it probably goes a lot deeper than, you know, this person leaving. So, you know, if you do want to get closer to family, I mean, that's a good thing, of course, that's great, but if you do, take this very slowly, tread very carefully. There are a lot of damaged feelings here, a lot of angry feelings. So, you know, you might inflame things very quickly if you're not watching what you're saying. So go about this very carefully and very slowly if that's what you want to do. That's what I'm seeing. So the first card you have in future is the 3 of Pentacles. So I don't know if you're going to ignore that strange sort of apology I was seeing in the Page of Cups, but I'm definitely seeing you taking your time with them. You're not enthusiastic about them, absolutely not. And, you know, you're going to be busy, you know, you're going to be busy with your work, with organising things and with everything else. And there's a motorbike. But I think you're also going to be a bit deliberately busy, actually. You're going to be, no, I'm busy, I don't want to talk to them. You know, it's not like you're calculating and you're trying to kind of be mean to them or whatever. But I agree with you if this is what you do, because they don't deserve your attention. You're definitely not going to reply quickly or feel as if you have to say much at all to them. You might not even say anything to them. And I don't know if there was a third party around this, when you were together. Maybe there was some overlap. It might have been that they were talking to someone else when you were starting to separate. There was something like that happening around this, I think. So yeah, if that all resonates, that gives you even more reason not to engage with them. If anyone cheats, I will not engage with them. So there's that. And you might eventually talk to them, I don't know, but you're definitely not going to feel excited to talk to them. You're not enthusiastic. You're just not. You really are not. So yeah, the next card you have for your future is Death. So yeah, this is not going to work out between you and this person. Even if you decided to forgive them, even if you decided to see them again or whatever, which I doubt very much, it wouldn't last. It wouldn't last for very long. It would fizzle out again. All the old issues would come back again. And they don't respect you. They really don't. I'm really getting that. I'm sad to say that, but that's what I'm seeing. I think you know that. And, the Death card's about finality. It can also be about obsession sometimes. It can be about a lot of things, but just be aware that they might start to escalate the communication if you say no to them. Because I'm not saying they're going to be totally obsessed and crazy and call you all day and night, but I think they are going to be a little bit insistent. I'm just seeing them with their mind made up, and anything that doesn't follow what's on their mind, they're going to be determined to kind of change it or fix it to follow what they want. So you might even end up blocking them in the end. But whatever you do, again, I'm not seeing this relationship working. I'm not seeing it having a future. Nothing they say or do is going to change that. Death is inevitable. It can't be changed. And this sounds very, very negative, but this isn't negative, because actually you know that, and you don't want to be around someone like that. You really, really don't, if this is all resonating with you. And I'm sorry this is turning into such a negative reading, but this is what I'm seeing. So the last card you have for your future is the Emperor. So yeah, again, you are determined not to let this person override you and decide your feelings for you, basically. I'm actually feeling quite angry about this myself, because what I'm seeing is, okay, they weren't taking you seriously in the first place. They didn't even apologise properly. They're all silly about the apology. And there might have been a third party as well. And now they're still not taking your feelings seriously, because when you say no to them, they insist. So again, this is not the sort of person you want anywhere near you, really. I actually hope this isn't resonating, because they sound horrible. This Emperor's in his armor, he's ready to fight. So you're like, no, I'm standing up for myself. I'm not going to let you override my feelings. And the other thing I'm seeing in this card is the Emperor's all about structure and, things working properly and being in control of everything. And you want structure in your life. I was seeing that in the Ten of Pentacles. You're getting things ready, you're taking control, you're getting order in your life now. This person represents the opposite of that. You do not want that in your life. That's what I'm seeing there in that card.